Hi, my name is Margaret Hughes. This week's assignment was to do a video speech on emotional reactions. Okay, so what I'm going to do is discuss a situation that happened to me, and then I'm going to explain to you two of the emotional reactions theories that we studied this week in Chapter 7, and then I'm going to tell you which one best applied to what my situation was. Now, I've been trying to do this for a while, so I will tell you that this video will be done in two parts to make it a little easier for me. Okay, so my situation happened about a year or so ago when my sister ended up in the hospital on life support. So once she was awakened and became responsive, she was in the hospital for a while. So we all took turns going to sit with her and make sure that everything was going okay. Well, this particular day, I actually went by myself. The nurses were in the room and they were doing hygienic stuff with my sister, which is fine, so I had to wait in the hallway. And then my sister started screaming, and of course, I became frantic because I'm trying to figure out, well, what's going on with my sister. And we're extremely close. When I went in the room, well, once my sister realized I was out in the hallway, she started screaming for me and telling me to help her and to save her. So, of course, I go into the room, and what was happening was she had a stent that was in her neck, and she was trying to yank it out. She didn't want it there. Part of that, I guess you have to know the background, is my sister, she never wanted to be resuscitated. But she had it in her neck, and she wanted it to be taken out. And she was telling me to tell them, and to help her. And the only thing I could do is, by this time, my heart is pounding. This is my sister, my big sister, and she doesn't want to live anymore. So the only thing I could do was, I was crying and I was holding her hand and keeping her hands away from the stent in her neck, because it's going straight through the artery. And I told her, I was like, please let it stay in. That's the only thing I could do. I asked her to please let it stay in, that I needed her, and after a couple of minutes, she calmed down and she just took a really good look at me, and she, the only thing she said was, okay. And she didn't say anything else, and she just let them finish doing what they needed to do. This is a very significant event for me. One of the theories we learned this week was the orgasmic view of emotions, or also known as the James Lange view. Okay, so this is first respond physiologically, and only after that do we experience emotions. And that quote was found on page 194 of our text. So we're going to have something that stimulates us, and then we're going to have a physical reaction, and then we're going to have emotion behind it. Or say we're asleep and we hear a loud banging. So the first response, the loud banging, would be the stimulus. And then the physical reaction would probably be that we would jump awake. And then our emotions would be, that we're afraid. So that's an example of what orgasmic view of emotions is. The second one that I'm talking about is perceptual view of emotions, or better known as the appraisal theory. So this says that it asserts that subjective perceptions shape what external phenomenal means to us. And that's on page 178 in our textbook. And this means that the emotions have real meaning behind them. So if I were to choose one of these two theories to use for my story, I would have to choose the appraisal theory, because there was an external event, which was my sister trying to pull the stent out of her neck. And then my perception of the event was that this is a life or death situation. So my interpreted emotion is fear. And then my response to it was that my heart was pounding, or I looked it up, heart palpitations. So that's why I would say that my reaction was my emotional response was the appraisal theory. So I have to say that I've met everything that I said I was going to talk about. This situation was very emotional for me. As you can see, it's still emotional when I think about it. Every time I think about it, even now, I get a tightening in my abdomen area. So in conclusion, I would have to say that I've discussed, I've given you my situation. I've explained two of the emotional theories, reaction theories that was discussed in chapter 7, and I've told you which one best suits my situation. Thank you for